Is it okay for me to have my own checking account? If I have a checking account separate from yours, is that okay? And we're married? Well, let's talk about that. Stay tuned.
You don't want to miss it. You're listening to Marriage Mania, where we are audacious, sagacious, and tenacious for the Lord to uphold godly marriages and to raise fervent children who are countercultural and stand for biblical truth.
Hi, welcome back. I'm Tania.
And I'm Michael.
And today, let's talk about checking accounts. Sounds simple, right? But is it okay if I have a checking account and he has a checking account? Or we have two separate checking accounts and then another joint account? Like, how do we deal with that in marriage? And is that okay? So we're going to talk about that today. But before we get started, please subscribe here. It helps us get the message out. We want to reach as many families as possible with your help. And so thank you so much for even being here and listening. So please subscribe. And we also have Bible studies at marriagemaniaministry.com. We have the covering, the role of a biblical husband, and the helper, the role of a biblical wife. These Bible studies help us to learn about the roles in marriage and how God designed marriage to be. So check those out. We also have the conflict manual. Everybody has conflict. And the opportunity to understand communication styles. So we have this book available with different communication styles. You can check that out at marriagemaniaministry.com. Last but not least, we have something very dear to my heart. It is Follow Me as I Follow Christ. It is a mother's prayer and fasting 31-day devotional. And I am just so thrilled to have that out. It really goes deep on how to pray for our children and also just leaving a legacy. So check that out again at marriagemaniaministry.com. Okay, let's get to this topic. Checking accounts. So weird. Now, in marriage ministry, we've talked about oneness, marital oneness, the importance of having that union. And when you get married, that day you become one because you're going before the Lord. You're making a covenant, right? And you are now one. You're not two people. Yes, you are. You are two people, but you're not two in separate things. So everything that you have is now together. We see couples that have two separate checking accounts. Now, what do you think about that, Michael? Because having two separate checking accounts can kind of lead to a lot of things.
Yeah, and I like how you're tying it into oneness because that's why God created marriage. It's something profound on a spiritual level. When we get married, we become one. That's how God describes two people that are married. They're not as two separate people. He described them as one. We become one. It's like God created woman from man, and then when they become married, the man leaves his parents and joins to his wife, and they become one flesh. As God describes it. And Paul talks about this as being a profound mystery, and more than we can explain. But that's how God created it. On some spiritual level, we become one. It's also a process though, because we become one in a spiritual level in a profound way when we get married in the marriage ceremony. But the process of oneness is takes time, and they say about 10 years to really meet maximum efficiency to where we're operating as one. And the way we join lives together in a practical way is literally joining everything together to operate as one. And we don't speak with the pronouns my and yours. We try to avoid those. It's not my car. It's not your car. It's not my this, your this. Everything is our. Right. It's our house. Doesn't matter where the money came from, who was bought, who's primarily driving it. It's all ours, and to think that way can help us become more one. And it's important because it's important that we operate in unity as one, and that only happens if we do things that help us operate as one. And a big part of that, like you said, is finances. Money talks. If you want to know what somebody's priorities are, look at how they spend their money, how they handle their money. And so if you want to see whether someone's really operating like they are one flesh, like they are joined together as one, or if they're trying to hold things back a little bit, they're a little bit reserved. I don't know about you quite yet. I'm going to kind of keep my own independence here. I don't really be one with you. Look at their finances. And if we're keeping a bunch of things separate bank accounts, and this is my money and that's your money, you spend on certain things with your money, I spend on certain things with my money, that's a powerful not only indicator but also precipitates separateness and thinking separately and doing things separately. And the more we do that, the more we can lead separate lives, and the natural course of events is to drift apart. And it takes intentionality to come together,
right,
and actually do things that operate as one. We're doing a lot of things together, and we're checking with each other about whether we should I spend this on something that's out of budget. It's like not my money. I can't just spend on something without asking my other half. Is it okay to spend our money to buy this that's out of budget that we haven't talked about? Yeah, sure, go ahead. It's that's how we become one. That's how we become unified in marriage, and not keeping things so separately.
Yeah. So if I have my own checking account and you have your own checking account, like, it feels like I could be doing things in secret. Not that I'm doing it in secret. And if there's somebody here that has two different checking accounts, that's not what I'm saying. But, if I'm spending my money over here on coffee and clothes and stuff, and my husband doesn't know about it because he doesn't have access to look at it, then I feel like we're not walking in oneness. We're not telling each other where our money is going, and we're not having accountability towards one another, because we should be accountable to what we're spending together because it's our money. So I've seen several couples in the past, and even friends, where they have separate checking accounts, and they're like, no, we have, our money is together. We just have separate checking accounts. I'm like, your money's not together. It's not, because you have your money going in and you have your money going in, and it's separate. And so I think that can cause a lot of disunity down the road, because if somebody comes home and has like packages of clothes, or, hey, we're going on this trip or whatever, nobody knows how much money is being spent. Is that person in debt? Like, there could be a whole side of financial aspect that's not being brought to the table. And we will get into the finances in other podcasts, but today is just about the unity of coming together and having a checking account. You get married, go to the bank together, sign the paperwork, and get a joint checking account. Get rid of all your checking accounts. And I remember when we first got married, I had my checking account with, I forgot what bank it was, and you had it with a certain bank. And I was like, can we go to this bank? And you're like, no, I really want to be with my checking account because I've got all my deposits. And so I just said, fine. And so everything, my direct deposits, when I was working, everything went into our new checking account that my name was on it, Michael's name was on it, and now everything just flows to that account. So there's just accountability, and we have a oneness. It's our money. Whatever comes in is our money. Whatever goes out is our money. And, we have that accountability towards one another.
But one thing to really keep in mind is money is not a small factor. And, the big sayings like put your money where your mouth is, and it really shows what your true intent is. And it's so important that we have the mindset of ours and not mine and yours. And a big factor to that is if we're keeping our money separately, that is a big matzo ball that's saying that's yours and this is mine. You handle that money. I'll handle this money for whatever reason. And we're missing out on a huge opportunity to be unified in our finances and to act as one in our finances and to promote making decisions together with our finances over everything. Even if it comes to like, hey, if it's a in budget situation, then we don't have to ask for every little thing. We already asked for that. We know that we got to pay the mortgage. We know we got to pay for our groceries. But when it comes to paying for something out of budget, I want to get this purse. I want to get this lawnmower. we should check with each other on that. This is out of budget. It's not my money. This is not your money. This is our money, regardless of where it's coming from specifically. It all gets merged into one big pot, and it's ours, and it's the family's, and we need to check with each other. And it gives great accountability to make sure that we are spending it wisely. We have a second person looking at us like, I don't think that's a wise purchase. Have you thought about this? And then maybe that's something we need to pray about and talk about. But we're practicing that, and it's these even small things, if you think of it as a small thing, that really helps promote marriage oneness. As the day-to-day living, money is so day-to-day, so daily, that's one of the things that's really important, that we are operating as one, to really hammer the point every day. For every financial transaction, we hammer the point. We are acting as one. We are acting unified. It's not me. It's not you. This is us, and we're operating as us and ours.
And that's a great point. And ultimately, I do want to take a deeper step, is that our money is really God's money. So we want to be stewards of the money that God has entrusted us with. So if I'm over here doing my own thing and he's doing his own thing, how are we really trusting God to really work in our finances, with tithing, with giving, with all of these things? And, I know we will cover a lot of that in some future podcasts around finances and tithing and all that, but
that is a really good, profound point, and I never really come to think about it that way. But it's God created marriage oneness, and so He wants us to operate as one in as many ways possible as we can. And so money is definitely a way that we can act as one, and we should act as one. And it's very important. Money is so important. That's a big area, if not the number one area, that we need to really operate as one, is with our finances. And I like how you really tied that into God creating marriage oneness. He created us to be one, not to be me and you, mine and yours, but to be us. I like that.
Yeah. So we got to think about our money as God's money, and we are here because of the Lord. And, our marriage is unified because of the Lord, and we have a covenant because of the Lord. So if we are abiding by God's word, we are walking in his truth. And so that is the marriage oneness. That's us coming together. And even as simple as a checking account, it's super important to bring that together as one checking account, not two, not three, but one checking account where both names are listed on there. And that also gives you guys accountability. It gives you the opportunity to, make decisions together. And that's truly important when it comes to marriage. So we just wanted to bring up this topic for conversation and for you to ponder. If you already have a checking account that's joint, we are so excited about that. But if you don't, think about it and pray and ask the Lord to help you surrender that, because the more you become one, the more you'll begin to trust God in your marriage and bring him into the conversation, bring the Lord into the center of your checking account, and he will bless it. He will definitely bless the oneness. We are so thankful that you're here. So please, if you like this podcast, give us a thumbs up, help us, and get that message out there to others. Subscribe. That would really help us so much to get the word out, to share with other families about Jesus Christ. Until next time.
God bless.